All right, I'm back from having some food. Still a lot of people here. Oh. Bringing a stretcher. I must have missed something, I guess, while I was eating. Oh, shit. We got in part. We got there's a stretcher. They're grabbing a stretcher for somebody. Okay. Whew.
Got an eye in the sky. We have got to demand that these giant companies
Grabbed a stretcher for somebody.
collective bargaining going again. We gotta raise the minimum wage. We gotta have universal single-payer health care for all. Because it won't do just to get rid of one bad guy and then 4 years later get another one. Because we haven't done what we need to do to solidify shared prosperity in America. So, beloved, let me just say as I wrap up, on behalf of me and my dear sister, Becky, love this lady. She is the best. Give it up for Becky, y'all. I want us to think about a new birth of freedom for this country. I want us to look past Trump and into the society that we dream about, where we have prosperity, peace for all in this time. God bless everybody.
Before we continue, we have a public service announcement. Joan Molinar. You are looking for Maureen Corlatt. She is at the Lost and Found area located on Martin Luther King Boulevard. That is the street to the left of the stage as you face the camera. Joan Molinar, you are looking for Maureen Corlatt. She is located.
I had to recall my name for a second. I'm like, I'm not lost and found.
And next, we have two fierce advocates serving in the Minnesota State Legislature. Please welcome Representatives Lee Finke and Shelley Bach.
Hello, sorry that took a while. Hello, those of you still joining us. Thank you so much for hanging around. My name is Lee Finke. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a state representative. I work here along with my colleague Shelley Bach in the Minnesota House of Representatives. I'm here to provide a little trans representation, but I'm also here to demand our trans liberation. And I'm here to demand our liberation for everyone. I don't mean only queer and trans liberation, but all of ours. Immigrants, refugees, undocumented neighbors, our friends with disabilities, our indigenous tribal nations, everyone. Full equality, full inclusion, full stop. So here's the thing I want you to remember when someone asks what the trans lady was yelling about at the No Kings rally. You can tell them that these fascist thugs in Washington, they are actually not the gatekeepers of our shared liberation. The violent, hateful ideologies of these men, it will end. Men like this come and men like this go. Minnesota beat back the fascist ICE invasion and the rest of the nation will too. When Trump and his cronies are long gone, queer and trans and immigrant and disabled folks will still be here. We will still be here fighting for our shared liberation, and we will need you at that time to continue to fight for all of this. This won't be the end for us. This won't be the end for any of us. But we are in the hot fire right now. All of our vulnerable communities need you, and you know why. The forces of oppression are obvious, conspicuous. It is like the apocalypse. You know who the bad guys are, and you know who the good guys are. But we know these fascists are bound to lose. And when they are gone in the dustbins of history, your trans, two-spirit, non-binary, queer, immigrant neighbors, we will still be here fighting for our lives. And we will need you to be in the streets then, too. It is not just now, it is not just Trump, it is what comes after. We still will need you to fight for our lives. Liberation now, justice for Renee, justice for Alex, justice for all of the families affected by this government. Stay safe, keep fighting. Thank you.
A little shorter here. Hamadako Yabi, Shante Washtaya Napechi Shapi, Shalibaka Makiapi, Damakota, De Dakota Makoche. Hello, my relatives. I greet you with a good heart and handshake. My name is Shelly Buck. I am Dakota, and this is Dakota Homelands. Dakota people are some of the first stewards of this place we call Minnesota Makoche, or Minnesota. For us, it is more than a home. It is the place of our origin on this earth. Through this, we know that we are all interconnected. Our values, our hopes, and our dreams for our children and the next 7 generations. In the past, they stole our children, cut our people's hair, tried to steal the language from our tongues, and tried to convert us into one of them. Throughout a history of erasure, eradication, and state-sanctioned genocidal violence, our people did more than resist. It is because of our ancestors' insistence and endurance and their refusal to abandon the love they carried for all their relatives, whether human or non-human, that I am here before you today. White supremacy and the claws of those who embody it continue to dig into our backs. And the government, again, is stealing our people. ICE and the federal government continue to try to break our bodies, spirits, and wills, but my friends, they have failed miserably. Love, laughter, and connectedness with our land and our neighbors is powerful medicine. It feeds our souls and keeps us moving. We know that the violence of white supremacy, of discrimination and oppression are all continuances of the legacies of colonialism that remain today. Though in vastly diverse ways, we are all inheritors of these violent colonial legacies and the systems that continue to uphold them. And so the responsibility to imagine and create and work toward a more radically just present and future is a shared inheritance too. Pedamaya Yepi, thank you to all of you for being engaged in this work of justice and liberation, for all that you have done and continue to do to help ensure the legacies we hand down can guide us toward a future to be proud of. Mitakoye Owasi, Pedamaya Yepi, thank you all my relatives.
The invasion of Minnesota neighborhoods is symbolic of this administration's assault on working families across the country. Organized labor is pushing back here in the Twin Cities and in the halls of power. To speak about that resistance, please welcome President Liz Schuler of the AFL-CIO, President Randy Weingarten of the American Federation of Teachers, and President of the SEIU, April Barrett.
Hello, Minnesota! I'm Liz Schuler, President of the AFL-CIO, America's labor unions. Do we have worker power out there today? That's what I thought. I'm so proud to stand up here alongside my union sisters, Randy and April, bringing the voices of 15 million workers across 65 unions and every worker in this country. That's right. Over and over this past year, we've seen this administration try to divide us as working people. Whether or not we were born here, whether we were blue collar, white collar, gay, straight, trans, black, white, Latino. They try to divide us because they could not be more afraid. They could not be more afraid of what happens when we stop looking to the left and to the right and we start looking at them. When 3 rich people have more money than half the rest of us in this country, does that work for working people? Hell no! When CEOs are making $90 million a year while their workers can't afford groceries, does that work for working people? Hell no! When everything in this country is so damn expensive and Trump's answer is to cut the taxes of his billionaire friends, is that a country that works for working people? Hell no. No Kings is about standing up to the guy in the White House. But no Kings also means tearing down an economy, buying for billionaires, and instead building it up for working people. More money in our pockets, because no one in the richest country on earth should struggle to get by. More time off to spend with our friends, family, kids, and loved ones. Equal pay for Black and Latino women who are still making 58 cents on the dollar. Because opportunity in this country should not depend on the color of your skin. And you know where it all starts. It starts with a good union job for every worker in this country. Because we all know it's better in a union. I look around and we honor those we have lost in the detention centers and in the streets. Our brothers, sisters, and siblings, they have been taken from us because they had the courage to stand up. And I want to name and honor our union brother, Alex Preddy, who stood up for democracy and his community in the streets and fought for democracy with his AFGE brothers and sisters and siblings in the workplace as a trade unionist. Every single thing we've won in this country happened because we fought for it. It happened because of days like today. This is the power. We have the power. Do we have the power? We have the power. And now I'm so honored to introduce my union sister, President of the AFT, Randy Weingarten. Woo!
Captain America